We are so happy to see you all here. See you when you came in. I am Aunt Leanne. I'm one of the storytellers of San Diego, and I am here with my mask because I'm in front of the Twisted Horn, which is where normally on a third Thursday we would gather and have storytelling. Obviously, we can't do that yet, but they this week have done a reservations only opening. So you can come by as you've been able to do for the last couple of months. You can order ahead and pick it up at curbside, get your growlers filled with amazing mead or hard cider, or you can make a reservation and go in and join the other socially distanced people and have a glass of mead or some of their cider and enjoy their wonderful Viking hall that's in there. But since I have you all here and our time is going along, I'd like to share just one little story with you in honor of Father's Day. You see, there was this woman whose husband had gone away to war, and he had left her with a small child and a croft and a tabby cat to care for. And she was doing her best. Oh, she loved that Baron. That little boy looked just like his father. He was chubby-cheeked and sweet. He had curly brown hair. He was just the cutest, healthiest, most good-natured little baby that you had ever seen. And as he was growing older, he remained a strong and healthy boy. And when he was about 2 years old and his father was away, she had just gone down to the river and left her wee child in the doorway in a pen. And when she came back, the boy was having a fit. He was so angry and crying. And from that day onward, he was such a poor-tempered child. He cried almost all the time. Nothing seemed to please him. And he didn't give his mother a smile or a giggle or as much as a pleasant look from that day onward. Well, it was a terrible thing. And he began to look more and more sickly, thinner and more yellow. And after about a year of that, she went down to her good friend in the village, who was known far and wide as a wise woman. And she asked for her advice, what on earth she could do for this child who was sickly and wasn't growing and was so ill-tempered. And her friend listened and said, "It sounds to me as though you might have a changeling on your hands." And the woman's heart stopped and her blood ran cold. Her little baby boy had been stolen by the Fae and replaced with one of their own. She said, "What can I do? How can I fix this?" And the wise woman said to her, "Well, first you have to be very sure that this is one of the Fae that has replaced your child." "How can I do that?" She said, "Well, put in the child's way something that is so strange, so unusual that anyone who came upon it would have to remark on it. And then stay near enough to hear. And if you hear something so strange coming from your child's mouth that you know it is a changeling, then this is what you must do." And she whispered in her friend's ear. She said, "But remember, only if you know for sure that this is a changeling." Oh, the woman went home and she thought, what could I put in the way of this child that would be so remarkable? And she took a broomstick and she shoved it up her chimney and suspended it by 3 other sticks and some ropes. And she let it go down into her oatmeal pot as though it were the small stick that she normally had stirring there. She hung it over the fire. She took a cord and she went around the corner and she began to pull gently on the huge broomstick so that it stirred and stirred the oatmeal pot. And soon her child came toddling along and saw this huge stick in the oatmeal pot. And it looked to the left and the right, and seeing no one, it said, "Ah, here I am, the father of 17 elves, with whiskers that would be down to my chin. And never have I seen such a big stick stirring such a small oatmeal pot." And the woman, when she heard that, she knew for sure that this was one of the Fae in the body of her child. And she did just what the wise woman had told her. She picked up her gray tabby cat and she hurled it with all her might at the baron. And the cat hissed and put out its claws. And she shielded her eyes, and she heard a horrible scream. For even in the best of times, elves and cats do not get along. And when it was quiet again, she looked over, and there was her cat, all curled up, purring in the lap of her laughing child. And she could tell at a glance that he had been returned to her once more. And that is the father of 17 elves. So thank you so much for listening to my story with all the interruptions.